Fucking not even coming. Hey y'all, it's your girl Millichun, and I am here with the Funky Dineva.
Hey!
Thank you, friend, for being here. I want y'all, we
I'm
had to
so
get it
happy.
together. Yes,
I'm
we.
so happy. I'm so happy to be here. I know we've talked before in the past, and you were saying to me, oh, I can't believe I'm talking to you, and all the different things you're saying. But I've never told you this. I don't know how, but you just popped up in my feed one day. Because I don't know how to work the TikTok. I don't know how to work the TikTok. I don't even know how y'all put them pictures up and then have y'all face talking on it. And like you were one of the first people I saw doing that. And I was like, who is this Southern girl that just gets into it the way I do? And I don't watch a lot of people on social media. I just don't, not for any shady reasons. I try not to watch other influencers and people who review because my brain is a sponge and I don't want to, by mistake, take on somebody else's persona or say something that they say. So I try not to watch other people. But when I saw you, I think I got introduced to you during Love and Marriage Huntsville. And I was like, who is this bitch stepping in my lane? Now, wait a minute now. But I was like, but you know what? I was like, she doing her stuff different. She doing a little bite-sized clips. I mean, and then I was like, and she's thorough. She really follows what's going on. I was like, I like her. So It's funny because when you reached out to me and we would talk on social media, I was like, I want to like strike up a friendship with this girl because I really do like her. So thank you for having me on your platform. And you don't know what this means to me to be able to chat with you because you're one of my favorites.
Oh my God. I am going. Okay. Get it together.
Let me turn my fan on. I can hear you. It's hot. Let me turn my fan on. Go ahead.
Give me a minute. Let me get it together. Because what I want to say to you, and I want to thank you because I had no idea. Because I was introduced to you in 2011 when you were standing out in front of Sheree's
house.
Grass. And I was like, who is this dude just out here ridiculous with toys as a microphone? In that moment, when I said when I made my little thing about talking to you, I never meant to get emotional. But ever since that day, I never not watched you. I've seen everything you've done. And like whatever that little apartment was with the black and white walls, I was like, I followed you when you left there and went on to Miami. But I was like, my friend and I, we talk all the time, and it would be like we would watch the show, right? And I was just on the phone with my friend and your cousin.
Trenda, special shout out to my cousin.
Shout out to Trenda. Shout out to Rhonda. Yeah, shout out to them. Like we were just on the phone talking, and so I was like, Rhonda and I would watch a show, like just watch a show, not on the phone. We're watching it, and then we would get off the phone, and then we would talk about it. And then before we go to get off, we'd be like, girl, tomorrow we got to see what Funky Dineva say. And so it'd be straight, like, I can't tell you how many gym workouts I've gotten through, just cleaning my house, like everything. And I'll be so mad when you don't be on it like that. And then it came a moment when you were like, y'all, I'm chilling. I'm off of this right now. This is going like this. And I was like, and now I get it. I understand, what you mean, because you get burnt out a little bit.
Yeah, you do.
But I just came to you for everything. Like, this is everything to me. This moment, for you to say that means everything.
And I meant it.
I was like, you just have no idea. I was like, because like I said, I didn't want to be you. I couldn't be you. But I liked the way you gave it, whether it was right or wrong. And it didn't matter. I was like, you have to like him because he's really telling the truth about whoever you are. You know what I'm saying? So if you're talking about Marceau, or if you're talking about Latasha Scott, whoever you talking about, you give the real and the good and the bad. So it was like people, that's why people love you, because it's so honest, and we all love you. Like everybody's in here, the Funky Bunch, and we're here for you. And I just thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And I'll say this too before we really dive into the conversation. I think one thing that I liked about your content and what struck me the most was that, like you just said, you weren't trying to be me or anybody else. You were authentic to who you were. And I'm just going to take this moment to say to all the influencers out there, right? Like, one of the good things and the bad things about social media is that there are no barriers to entry. It's free, which means it's open to the whole world, which means everybody and their mama can literally get on social media and attempt to do what it is we do. But only the cream rises to the top, and you have to be authentic, right? Like, you can't come on try to duplicate your favorite influencer or somebody you saw. You have to be you, and that's the only way this is going to work. And I think that is why your channel and what you do and the little snippets that you do, they work. So for you and everybody else out there, continue being authentic. That's just what I tell people. People always ask me, what can I do to break in? I want to be a YouTuber. And I was like, you just have to be authentic, find your tribe, and the rest will take care of itself.
Yeah, because even when I meet people, I think some people are really shocked that, oh my God, you're really like, I was like, I told you, if you walk through the door, baby, this is what you're gonna get. Like, this is me. But yeah, I just wanted to say thank you. I appreciate you, everything that you do, and you have just been my virtual mentor. So
thank you.
I appreciate it. That. So now that we got the love out the way, okay, how did you just really get started? Like, how did you come to be Funky Dineva?
So I'm gonna condense the story because I've told it several times over, and it can get long. But the short of it is, I was working in Atlanta. I was an accountant. I hated doing accounting. And so it was the only thing I was qualified to do. And so in order to like subsidize the creative side of me, I used to throw parties on the side. And so because I used to throw parties, I had a pretty big social media following on Facebook. Okay. And I would be at work and I would just literally not doing my work, just be like, oh, my boss walked his bald-headed ass in here today messing with us, and the fat bitch from the AP department that smelled like onions in here. But I would just make these posts. And so what would happen is, on days that I would like not go to work or not post, people would be in my inbox and be like, well, what happened to the lady yesterday from work? Yeah. Or whatever. And so I was like, oh crap, people are like actually following these little stories, because I guess they hated their jobs too. So that was one part of it, right? Then that year, the first year I started was the year the Real Housewives of Atlanta had come out, and me and my friends decided that we were going to be the Housewives of Atlanta as Cricassos, and I was the Nene Leakes character. That's October. In December, I find the wig up under the sofa in the basement, and I just put the wig on. I take my phone. I'm like, yes, honey. My hair is laid, bitch.
That's what my next question was going to be. Where did that come from?
I'm literally the moon. I'm literally I'm cleaning up. I'm musty. I'm just taking a break. And you can find this video. If y'all go to YouTube right now, type in Funky Dineva, my hair is laid, you will literally find the very first video that set it off, taken with an iPhone. And the short of it, Millichun, is I thought it was funny. I wanted to send it to a few friends from college. The file was too big for me to text. Okay. So I sent it, I uploaded it to my YouTube channel that I had since I was a teenager. And a friend shared it. And because I had so many people on Facebook, it traveled, because at that time, there was no such thing as a social media influencer. And it traveled in a negative way. Oh, did y'all see Quentin? He got that wig on. Y'all see that faggot ass shit Quentin doing? He got that wig. Oh, hell nah, hell nah. So it's the gossip train. I was like, ooh, look on his page, see what he doing.
Got it.
Whatever. But I've always been the type of person that I mean, at the point in which people were gossiping and the rumor mill was going, there was no need of taking it down because the impact was going to be the same. So I left it up. And the results were 50-50. A lot of the girls were like, oh, this is funny. The guys were like, man, what kind of fuck faggot ass shit is this? So then I just started doing it as a journal. I would just put that wig on and I'd be like, Chad, I would just vent. And it was cathartic and therapeutic for me because Funky Dineva was able to say things in character that Quentin Latham couldn't.
Gotcha. And then I understand that.
Yeah, Quentin Latham couldn't. That. And so then I get this email from YouTube one day, and back at that time, you had to be invited to partnerships. So I'm at work, they send me this email, I skim it. The shit was saying, you know, for every X amount of views, you'll make 0.03.97 over 18 cents or whatever. It didn't look like no money to me. So I just disregarded it. I was like, whatever. And again, we're talking 13 years ago. There was no such thing as a social media influencer. The word YouTuber didn't even exist when I started. You see what I'm saying? So there was no precedence for this. I ignored that email. A couple weeks later, I'm still doing my little videos, just venting. I get another little email about it. I fill it out. All right. Month one, I make like $30. And so you have to make $100 before YouTube will even pay you. Right. So month one, I made a little $30. I was like, oh, this is cute. But again, there's no precedence for a social media influencer. So I never thought anything of it. I'm an accountant. Month two rolling around, I make like $58. All right, bum. Then I fuck around and get fired. I was sick one day at work. I called out Monday through Thursday. Thursday evening, I called my boss, John. I said, listen, John, I've been out Monday through Thursday. I might as well be out Friday. I'll either come in on the weekend or start fresh on Monday. And he said, you know what, Quentin? He said, you've been out long enough that this creates a nice natural stopping point. And he was like, and I can tell that you are unhappy with this. So I think we're just going to stop here. And I looked at the phone, Millichun, and I just hung it up because I wasn't feeling it. I just hung it up. And that Monday morning, I started sending out my resume. And I said, Quentin, what are you doing? I said, sending out your resume for another accounting job is literally you saying, excuse me, sir, can you please pay me to come in here and be miserable every day? Right. And at that time, Obama was giving out unemployment for 2 years in the state of Georgia. It was like $1,400 a month. And I said, God, I'm gonna get this $1,400 in unemployment. I don't know what this video thing is over here, but I made $150. If I could get this video thing to make another $1,500, that's about $3,000 a month. I could work off. I could work with it. I could figure it out. And that's what I did. I got on the unemployment. I started doing the videos, and within 6 months of that, I was on the first Love and Hip Hop reunion. You know what I'm saying? Within 6 months of that, and it just things just grew from there.
I'm glad you said that, because when they was doing the Run It Back,
which I still have not seen. I have not seen it yet, but people told me about it.
When they were doing the Run It Back, I watched it because, and I was like, well, I don't know what it is that we like about that, but that was the best television, right? So they get to the reunion. I was like, fucking Dineva was on the reunion?
I was on the season 1.
I saw you.
That was my very first television job ever. Mona Scott Young gave me my first television job.
So how did that come to be?
So again, all this influencer stuff is new. There's TikToker, none of this exists.
None of the Instagram.
There's no word. There's no word for it. I'm minding my business. And then at the same time, I also started FunkyDineva.com when I was doing the blog as well. I get an email. I'll never forget this woman's name, from a producer named Katrina Daly. She emails me. She says, hi, I'm a producer with Love and Hip Hop, and we would like to license some of your videos to put in the show. What would your licensing fee be? I knew absolutely nothing about the licensing fee. I didn't know what it meant to license your content. At that time, before then, I had met Candy Burris because I had went to Candy Coded Nights one time, and I had did her show as a result of my popularity from being online.
Okay.
So I called Candy, And I said, listen, Candy, I don't mean to bother you. I don't know anybody in the business. This lady is asking me this. I don't even know what any of this means. And Candy says, all right, hold on. Do you mind if I get my agent involved in this? And I said, sure. And then I get this phone call from this woman named Tracy Christian, who was Candy's agent, who is actually now my agent. And she says, she shares with me, she says, believe it or not, I'm actually one of the people who sold the show to VH1. I'm very close with Mona, or whatever the case may be. So she says, let me call them and see what's going on. So she calls. So she calls me back. So she says, all right, they want to offer you $500 to license a few clips from your YouTube videos in perpetuity. I'm like, what does perpetuity mean? She was like, forever, for all eternity. I'm like, cool, bitch. I just want to be on TV.
Right.
She says, okay. So then she said, I'm gonna call you back. So she calls you back. She says, I got good news and bad news. I said, well, give me the good news. She says, I told them instead of using your videos, why don't they just use you? I was like, great. She says, but the bad news is they're not going to pay you. I was like, okay. She was like, they'll get you a plane ticket, they'll put you in a hotel, but they're not going to pay you. I was like, not even the $500 they were offering? She's like, no, who cares? I want to be on TV. And so that was how I ended up being on the very first Love and Hip Hop reunion. And then subsequently, I did Love and Hip Hop Dirty Little Secrets and Love and Hip Hop da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And I'm kind of in the family now when it comes to their clip shows. But that was how that happened. And, as a result of that relationship with Candy, Tracy shortly thereafter became my agent, and she's still my agent to this day.
I'm telling you, when I watched it, I was like, because I watched it like when it was on, you know, and I watched the reunion, and I'm sure I know I saw you, but when I watched it run it back, I was like, I didn't know Funky Dineva was in here.
So Love and Hip Hop Atlanta will forever be special to me.
Yeah.
I definitely attribute that show and the Real Housewives of Atlanta for really launching my career in doing this. Yeah.
That is amazing. I had no idea. Like there's, because you never know how people get to wherever they get to. So that's good to know. And I will honestly say you said something in there that was something I needed to hear today. And I'll share that with you later, but that was something I needed to hear today. So I appreciate that. So then you do that, and then you just get on the internet and you just start, you got your $1,400 unemployment. You got a couple of dollars on YouTube coming in and out, coming in and out. So now you just, my hair is laid like Diana Ross, like Scandal, like all Grey's Anatomy. And that was just so amazing. So, and you know, of course, I remember you had one you did where you were just Quincy. And I was like, oh, okay. And that was really amazing to me because I never knew your name. And then I was like, oh, he's just let me just listen. Then I found out you were an alpha, and I loved you even more. And then so it just went from there. So like, when did you, are you still Funky Dineva Ross? Are we so, Dineva Ross? What are we doing?
You know what? Funky Dineva is the brand that I built, right? And you know, I'm just a firm believer of you never abandon the bridge that brought you over. You just don't. Obviously, I don't appear anymore in drag unless it's like a paid live performance or something. And even then, those are few far and in between. But just like Tina Turner's name was Anna Mae Bullock, but she wanted her stage name. She worked hard for it. This is my stage name. And I made the transition out of the wig and the makeup into myself was a twofold thought process, right? So the first thing was Funky Dineva, the drag character. It was a shield of armor. Because it was like, you know, in the comments, oh, you know, you faggot this, you that, you stupid, you ugly, all these different things. Well, you were talking to a made-up character whose shtick was to look a hot mess and be a ghetto ratchet mess.
Right.
So that didn't bother me because you don't know me. You're not talking to the real me. You're talking to essentially this clown. So that was a protective armor for me. But then I also, when I started to try to break into television more, all the network executives and the producers, they loved me and they loved what I was doing and they thought I was so funny. But the feedback we would always get is, but we don't know what to do with you.
Okay.
We don't know where to put you. It was funny because Funky Dineva, the character, definitely fit within the love and hip hop landscape, right? Like that was a very unique situation and she fit there. But there were not many other places that this man with the beard in drag that's not really taking the drag serious, that looks a hot mess. There's not really many other places you can place that person outside of love and hip hop. And so that's when I made the conscious decision after looking at like a Tyler Perry to come up out of it, because Quentin Latham can get places that Funky Dineva can't. Gotcha. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And it's like Tyler Perry with the Medea thing. Tyler Perry used Medea to build his empire, to get his money, to make his business connections. He came up out of all of that, and now he's Tyler, and it's Tyler who is running the world. Medea's not showing up to meetings.
That's right.
It's Tyler Perry that's showing up to meetings. So it's still kind of the same situation, although I've been gone for so long from the wigs and the makeup and the lipstick and stuff, and y'all are hearing it here first, that I am toying with the idea of starting just a little subsection of my YouTube channel that's just messy as all fuck. And I get back in the wig and the lipstick and I just let it rip and give it to people like I used to back in the day.
As long as you say, my hair is laid, like, because we gonna need that. No. And I think that would be great, because the thing is this, as much, and I totally understand what you're talking about. Like, you can only do this for so long, and it can only get you so far until you have to really change up and get into till you go to the next level. So I understand what you're saying, but you're always going to be true to Funky Dineva Ross. You know what I'm saying? We just going to be true to that, and I love that for you. So what? When you moved out of that little apartment in Atlanta and you moved back to Florida, you moved back to Miami, right? So what was that? I mean, why did you leave Atlanta? Because there was a lot going on in Atlanta, child. It was a lot of talk, you know.
Hold on one second. I made you a plate. Hold on one second. Okay. Hold on one second. My friend made it. Okay. I'll be. What made me leave Atlanta? I'm a firm believer that when you lose your way, go back home.
Okay.
And that's for any and everybody. If ever you lose your way, go back home. And I had lost my way, like mentally, emotionally. You know, of course, a lot of people know about the drama that I experienced while I was there, but it wasn't just that. The drama was a symptom of a much larger problem. It's just, I was lost. I had gotten lost. And it was like, you know what? You need to go home and regroup. And my intention was to come back to Miami for a year max. Go back to it, find my footing, go back to Atlanta. And it's just when I got back to Miami, I just saw my career excelling so much. And it was like, well, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. You know what I'm saying? Right. And it was always a fear of mine living anywhere else outside of Atlanta, because I had so much celebrity access in Atlanta. And especially because what I do is niche in the Black urban celebrity space. That market doesn't exist here in Miami. So I was always concerned, oh, my career is going to fail. I don't have the access that I once had. But actually, I do. I did such a good job of making relationships while I was there. It's almost as if I'm still there because I still talk to everybody, and I'm still in Atlanta quite frequently for work. And then in addition to that, now, knock on wood, I've built such a solid, reputation and career in what it is that I do, that the tea and the people come to me now, and I don't have to come to them. So I could literally move anywhere, I think, at this point, and be cool.
Yeah, I think so. So after you, oh my God, let me just say my favorite thing you did, and I posted it in my little promo for you, was the time you went off on Kaya. And I'm not, we had to go into, I just want you to know, that was some good work.
And you know what? And she ain't really fuck with me since. Okay.
You had 2 videos. You did 2 silent ones. And I was like, ooh. I would go see that once a month. I would go listen to that once a month.
You know what my issue is with Kaya? Or what my issue was with Kaya? Kaya is a liar. All right. Kaya is a liar. And Kaya sought me out. I'm in Atlanta minding my business. Again, this social media influencer thing is new. I remember doing the K Wang when I was in college to Kaya. I went to Florida State. A lot of Tampa people were there. They introduced me to Kaya. So I'm having a fan moment. I've never had a celebrity reach out to me. Right. Kaya reached out to me and wanted me to do her annual roast. We did one that she actually posted. The second one that we did was a bunch of garbage, and she never posted it. But there was a situation when we were in Decatur at the little club, and Kaya had her people, and they were smoking weed. And she was like, do you want to smoke the weed? And I made a sly joke that I always make, which I said, no, I do rich people drugs or whatever. Okay, now the implication there was cocaine. I was like, no, I do rich people drugs. And we all laughed about it, and that was the end of it.
Right.
We went on and did whatever we did, and I went about my business. What I could not get down with Kaya was this whole, and can y'all believe he took the powder out and poured the powder on the counter and was snorting the powdered donuts on it. And I'm just sitting here looking at this woman like, this never happened. This never happened. And when it comes to things that I've done illicitly and not illicitly, I've always been an open book. The whole world knows. I've indulged in cocaine. So there's no reason for me to lie. You know what I'm saying? And then I'm like, girl, I got too much education and I am too classy to be in Decatur in a dilapidated bar putting cocaine on anybody's nasty ass 1945 built countertop to be snorting dope in front of a bunch of hood niggas that I do not know. That doesn't even make sense, honey. I'm a classy girl. If anything, I would have gone to the bathroom or I would have went to my car.
Yes,
sit there. And so that was why I just couldn't get down with Kaya, because if you're gonna spread the tea, spread the tea.
Yeah.
But don't sit up and make up. Don't make up lies on people.
Oh, Lord have mercy. That just did it for me.
And that's why I had to let her ass have it. And let me tell you something. I'm from Miami. When you come fuck with me, I don't care about your children. I don't care about, and I'm gonna tell you something. One reason why she don't mess with me no more is that I'm a very intuitive person, right? Like and I've been bullied, which made me the perfect bully. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm like a shark with blood and water. I can smell where you're weak. I can smell it. And I picked up on the fact you got children that we never see in public. Ooh, there's a problem there. You got a disabled grandchild with a cock eye. That's a problem there. And when I attack that bitch children and her grandchildren, she ain't never mess with me again. I ain't proud of it, but you gonna back the fuck up off me and leave me the hell alone and stop lying on me.
Ooh, and did.
Because I hurt that bitch to her core. And that was my intention.
Ooh.
Whenever
that's my favorite.
Whenever you see a celebrity, we live in a world now where celebrities' children get clout and bookings just off of being the child of that celebrity. Remember, you see a celebrity and they children don't fuck with them. That's a problem. There's something there. There's something there to explore. Why we don't see your children on your IG or your social media?
Right. Ever. So we're back in Miami and YouTube is taking off. Right? So what are we thinking about now? What are we doing? We're just YouTubing every day. We're watching TV. We're doing reviews. What's next? What are you sitting there next? Like, Quentin, what you doing next?
It's funny because leaving Atlanta, and that's another thing that'll drive you crazy in Atlanta. You got all these people around you telling you need more, you need to do bigger, you need this, you need that, you need a business, you need da. And Millichun, I'm going to tell you something. I don't necessarily know what's next. What I was thinking about was peace. That's all I was thinking about. Like I didn't have peace that last stretch of Atlanta. I just wanted peace. I was making good money. It wasn't about a next for me. It was about maintaining. It was like you worked hard to find this clear, peaceful mental space. It was about maintaining that. And I tell people all the time, I am in a space right now, mentally, emotionally, financially, that if God came down right now and said, Quentin Antoine Latham, I will never give you anything more than what you have right now, I'm all right with that.
Yeah.
If he doesn't give me any more family, any more friends, any more love interest, any more status, a better place to stay, a better car to drive, better food to eat, where I'm at right now, I can stay in this position and die. And I honestly mean that. My ultimate goal in life is to be a nighttime talk show host. And with my own show, I want to be the reincarnation of Arsenio Hall, Wendy Williams, mixed with a little Chuck lately. And I feel as if I'm already on a trajectory to do so. So if I just stay the course, I'm fine. Another thing I want to point out too, though, while I got you on the line, for other content creators out there, and y'all see what's going on in the media landscape right now with the writer strike, so on and so forth. I have put so much pressure on myself to make it to television. I want to be on TV. And started playing around in the TV world, and I'm here to let y'all know TV don't pay. TV does not pay. TV does not pay. All right. I would go to the different YouTube conferences and stuff, and I would see the white boys and the different little young YouTubers, and they would be millionaires from YouTube alone. People making $800,000 and $900,000 a month on YouTube alone. And it comes from, again, I started out 13 years ago. There was no blueprint for this. So the TV girls would look down on the internet girls and make you feel inadequate. Oh, you just do that little YouTube, that little internet stuff. But now you notice, no tea, no shade. Everybody from the reality TV world, what they trying to do? Get a YouTube.
On YouTube. Yep. Everybody trying to get a YouTube. Everybody want to be a content creator.
I am here to tell you now that I make more money on YouTube than most of your faves make on their network television shows, with the exception of the Bravo girls. The Bravo girls they pay them really well. But I make more on YouTube than the first and second season Bravo girls. All right. YouTube, the internet content creating is where it's at. TV don't pay until it pay. All right. It don't pay until you get to a Wendy Williams level.
Right. And that's my goal too. My goal is, because it was like, like you said, I thought about some things. I was like, reality TV wouldn't be. I do want my own show. It doesn't have to be nighttime. It could be daytime. But I do want my own show. I want to just be Millichun and just have these conversations and invite people like you to have these conversations with me. Because it took me a long time, right? It took me a long time. I always asked, like, they said that everybody has a certain thing. So I'm a woman of a particular age, right? So I was like, I done got this far. I was a teacher for 11 years. Then I went back to school. I worked in human resources. I worked in hospitals. And I was like, this is just not it. I work in the nuclear industry, which is great. but it was like I'm still missing something. So like I don't even know, like my baby was on TikTok. I did a TikTok with her, and my friend, she had all these TikToks. I was like, this is hilarious. So I joined it, and I did some stuff around Founders Day. Then I probably did some stuff a month later. Then I did some sounds and stuff like that. And I reviewed the Tasha K's interview with Sean Stockton's mistress.
Mm-hmm.
And I was so excited about that. I was so ready to bring that to TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
I went through that whole thing, rewound it. I went through that whole thing, and I laid that bad boy out in 3 parts. I put it down.
Mm-hmm.
Came back. You need 1,000 people to go live on TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
I came back the next day. I had 5,000 new followers. And I was like, wait a minute. So then I went live. I had like 3 people. Mm-hmm. And then so I was like, I was just cooking because I'm doing keto, I'm working out, and I'm just like, y'all come here to see me make these sausage and peppers. Like, okay. Mm-hmm. And they were like, what you making tomorrow? And I was like, okay. So then it was like, well, who else? Somebody told me somebody else to talk about. So I was talking about them, and I was like, okay. So then I was like, well, let me just go back over here to Funky Dineva. Mm-hmm. Because let me just look at him a couple of times and see what he got going on. And I was like, I can do that. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I can do that. And I said, people like me. I'm a likable person, mm-hmm. you know? Yeah. And I said, I'm just going to talk about it the way I talk about it. Yeah. And I'm there. I feel like I'm getting to where I need to be. I feel like it's some more people I need to be in front of. Mm-hmm. And I'm trying to figure that out. But I know that I have something. Mm-hmm. And so I just don't stop. You know what I'm saying? I don't sleep a lot.
Yeah.
Because I can't stop.
It gets a lot following the shows and stuff. It can become a lot, but it's a great way to start. And I'll give you some advice too. And one thing that was very smart, and I'm sure you probably didn't do it intentionally, but the own shows is a great place to start because you have so many copycats out there that instantly want to go to the Real Housewives and to the Love and Hip Hop. That market's oversaturated. Those shows have been on for 13, 14 years. You know what I'm saying? But you find a smaller niche show, like a little Lifetime show, a little own show, and that's the quickest way for you to build community. And I've got the Funky Bunch, and I always tell people in this game, it's all about engagement and building a community. And if you're able to build a small community around Love and Marriage Huntsville, as you have Bell Collective and things of that sort, you will watch your audience grow. And then you know what? I always tell people too, you don't need all of the customers, you just need the right customers.
Exactly.
That's all, you know what I'm saying? And
exactly.
There are YouTubers that have come in long after me that have got millions of followers, and I don't even get caught up in all of that because you might have 1 million, but I got what I got, and they're loyal and they tune in. You know what I'm saying? And that's what you want, and that's what you want, your village, your community. So
and I literally feel like I have a village, like I know, and it's like I always ask them, like, I don't know how other people are doing, but like I get up, I go live because I feel like I need to check on them. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's going on? Like, what y'all doing? Everybody okay? And then like what's going on? And I feel that, and I finally figured it out. I was like, I have to have something, and I figured it out. And then I was like, it's never too late. So and I appreciate them, right? I have this is a shameless plug. I'm an author now, honey. Okay. My second book gonna be out next month. Okay. This is my first one, Rose in the Wind. And I asked, right? And I'm saying this because I asked, because I have so much in my head. And I was like, y'all, if I wrote a book, would you buy a book from me? And I was like, yeah, write a book. I wrote a book. And it is quite amazing. Okay. And then my publisher was like, you gotta do 2 more. Uh-huh. I was like, how am I gonna do 2 more books? She was like, we don't know who these people are. We gotta develop. I was like, okay. So 3 months, I wrote another book. Mm-hmm. So I got 1 more to go. But I was like, that was a goal and I reached it. I did it myself and I was like, I can do whatever it is that I need to do. And I have a strong village behind me. I love my Millie crew. They are fantastic. And I mean, like I said, I would not really be doing any of this, y'all, in because if it was not for this man right here, y'all just don't know. It's everything for me. So I really appreciate you. So let's keep going. So then we have TGIF.
Mm-hmm.
How did that come about?
Cynthia Bailey called me out of the blue one day. She said, "Hey, me and Mike, we're getting married. Me and Mike would like to invite you to the wedding." I had never met Mike before in my life. Never met Mike. Me and Cynthia have been cool. I've been knowing Cynthia over the years, but I never thought that I would be one of the people who would make the guest list for the wedding. To be honest, we're cool. We know each other from the industry, but we're not like sit down on the phone. Hey, girl, what you doing? So I was honored when she thought of me to come to the wedding. I had met Claudia through Candy at Candy Coated Nights. I had known Gary with the T. We had hosted several events before. We're both two Black gay men in media. I look up to Gary in a lot of regards. So I had known Gary, had never met Al. Actually kind of didn't like Al. From what I had seen about Al on Basketball Wives, I could take him or leave him. And then when I met him, when I observed him at Cynthia Bailey's wedding, you know, he was a little saucy. He had some stuff to drink, and he was kind of like bouncing all over the place, and didn't really care for Al. But anyway, we're all standing in the corner. The wedding was over. You know how they have to flip the room and turn it into the dinner room.
Right.
Another little cocktail hour. Somehow or another, me, Gary with the T, Al, Claudia, and Claudia's boyfriend, we just all end up in the corner. We got about 45 minutes to burn. And bitch, we just over there having a good ass time, just laughing, talking shit, talking about people's outfits as they walk past, gossiping. And somebody was like, this could be a good show or whatever. And Claudia was already working at Fox Soul.
Okay.
Or whatever. And then she was like, she said, would you guys be down to come on my show? I was like, sure. And so, no, I'm sorry. After the wedding, she called me or texted me, asked me would I be down to come on her show. I said, sure. So I was thinking that Claudia was just having me as a guest on her show, do a quick segment.
Okay.
The day of the show, when we get the email or whatever, I see it's me, Al, Gary with the T, and Claudia. So I said, oh, I see what she's trying to do. I see where this is going. Okay. So we did it. We had a great time. Millichun, I kid you no lie. An hour after we got off of the air, the president of the network, James DeBose, called us and said, that what y'all just did wasn't amazing. And if y'all can produce that every week, I will pay y'all this and you start next Friday. And that is literally how TGIF happened. A chance at a wedding. We came on Claudia's show as guests. And he was like, if y'all can do that every week, y'all got a show and y'all start next week.
Wow.
And that's been just about 3 years now at this point. Unfortunately, you know, Gary had some contractual obligations that, you know, made him not able to do the show. And we were scared at first. It was like, damn, it was so good with Gary. But then we just found our way. We did go through a small search looking for a fourth because we thought we needed one. And then it got down to do the next show. We didn't have one. And it was like, forget it, y'all. Like, we can do this as a trio. And we did it. And then we went to 2 days and the people liked it. And now we're at 5 days a week. And I'm not speaking out of turn because the network has already said this to us, but they've already started playing us on the Fox stations in several cities, smaller markets.
Good.
And it's going to start as they plant their feet there. The other markets will pick it up. And ultimately, the goal is to move TGIF into studio and it'd be a full-blown studio production.
Oh, that's amazing. Congratulations.
Well, thank you. We're under the Fox umbrella. The Fox umbrella are the same people who distributed The Real. They're the same people who distributed the Wendy Williams show. They're the same people who currently distribute the Sherry Shepherd show or whatever. So Fox already knows this landscape and they've already got the infrastructure to do so. So we're just staying the course.
Okay. That's amazing. Congratulations. So you are really on the course. You're on you're on the right path.
I already know how this ends, Millichun. I go do, we do TGIF in a nighttime space for X amount of years, however long God intends for us to do it. And then when the band breaks up, Quentin Latham goes on to do his own thing because he's already been branded in that space and that nighttime slot, and then I die. That's.
But you will live on forever, baby. Forever.
I already know
forever. You will be here forever. So now that do you have any questions for me or anything like that?
Oh my God.
So let's get into some tea.
Okay.
Did you hear about Nene's son arrested? And when he got arrested, he gave
I just saw it a few moments ago. Yeah.
His brother's name, Brent, who has been sick.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you want to know what's funny about that, Millichun? Him giving the brother's name, that's not that shocking to me, right? And I think people are putting a lot of extra stank on it that don't need to be. It don't have nothing to do with the brother being sick. It don't have nothing to do with the brother being innocent. We all know people who get in trouble with the law and in a pinch, they try to give somebody else's name to get out of it. So I'm not even looking at it from the lens of the brother is sick and I'm looking at it from the lens of this is somebody who was already in trouble with the law, probably already had a warrant and didn't want to go to jail. So that part is not the shocking part for me. The caught with the fentanyl is the more shocking part for me.
That was crazy.
Yeah, that's the more shocking part for me. And then social media seems to be divided right now, right? Because obviously the headlines read Real Housewives of Atlanta star Nene Leakes' son. And there are a lot of people who are saying, this is not Nene Leakes' fault. He is grown. He is grown. So on and so forth. And I agree with that from a technical aspect. She wasn't there. She didn't make him do it.
Right. I just really hate that.
You raised him and he turned out to be shit. Right. And I look at, I can only go judge based on my family and my upbringing and our family values. I look at the way all the people in my age bracket were raised in my family, and none of us turned out like that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And we didn't have everything. I look at the people in my neighborhood who single mom and so on and so forth, and they did, and none of their children turned out like that. So while it's not her fault, your rearing of that child is still a major factor in how
his life, in how he comes
out.
out.
Yeah, and
because his foundation. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm from Grenada, Mississippi, and my father passed when I was 17. So my brother was 7, my sister was 14. But we've gone on to do amazing things. Now I do a whole lot. I'm in and out more than my sister and my brother, but we're all good. You know what I'm saying? We take it with us.
Yeah.
I wouldn't know right now if somebody came to me with that. I'd be like, no. The first thing about it for me, I'd be like, my mama have a fit if I get caught. No, sir. No, ma'am. I can't do that. So you're right. It's your foundation.
Yeah. The street life has never been attractive to me. Because I knew better. I was never allowed to run the streets. I never got a taste of it as a teenager. So I don't know what that's about. I wouldn't even begin to know where to get no damn fentanyl from. And I'm 40 and all.
Exactly. All I got is Benadryl and NyQuil, child. So that's all I got over here. Yeah. You're going to be lost over here. Yeah. But I hate that for Nene. I hate, she's doing her thing and she's trying to go on and be happy. And I really hate it for her.
Yeah, I do too.
I hate it for her.
I do too.
So let's talk about your most explosive TGIF show for me was the Scots 2.0.
Okay.
I thought Claudia is a delightful person. I've met her; she's delightful. But I was like, Claudia's trying so hard, and it's like I know she mad because this man is not even getting it. Like Maurice would not even catch onto it.
Mm-hmm.
And when you said, Kimmy, you look uncomfortable, you know, I was like, I was so glad you said that, because I was sitting there reviewing it and I had just said it. I was like, Kimmy, look, she won't even look at the camera.
Yeah. It was a cringy interview.
Yeah.
We didn't reach out to them. I think their people reached out to us. I don't know what the intention was. I don't know if the intention was to try to clean things up, but maybe they didn't fill Maurice in, or they didn't train him on what it is that needed to be said in that moment. Mm-hmm. But it was a very cringy interview. Because it was such a sensitive subject, I had already taken the stance that I was going to ask one or two salacious questions and I wasn't going to dig. But in hindsight, what I honestly feel is Kimmy tried to clean up Maurice's mess.
Yep.
It absorbed the bullet. And then two, if you just read her body language, he just refused for whatever reason to acquiesce. You know what I'm saying? And just say, damn, I fucked up and made her.
Sorry.
That's all it was. Or you know, or a simple, I was trying to get a moment on camera, man, and I just went too far, or whatever the case may be. And I will say this because I have been in proximity of the Scott brothers. Mm-hmm. I don't feel that they are bad people. I just think that they're cavemen. Mm-hmm. I think that they are very rudimentary in their beliefs of gender roles. I think that they hold a lot of misogynistic views or whatever, but I do think that they both love their wives and their families. They just think like primitive ass cavemen, where a woman's place is this and I'm the man and what I say goes and what I think is the only thing that matters and so on and so forth. And then to be corrected by a woman, I'm not going to let a woman be the person to force me to correct what I said. So I think all of those things were going on at one time. And I just hate that Maurice, in my opinion, prioritized his pride and ego over Kimmy's emotional well-being in that moment.
Yes. And we see in the upcoming trailer that he continues to do that by saying that her taking the medicine and not having a libido is a mental thing. So we got that to go on. Let me say this, and I don't want to spend no time on this right here, but I got to give you this because you are the person who coined Arian Curry coleslaw. Mm-hmm. Baby, that right there should really retire you. You should be able to trademark that. Mm-hmm. Because that was amazing.
Thank you.
And that has gone like literally all over the world. I see True T in here, and baby, when I tell you she uses it. Mm-hmm. And there's another one, High Tea for You, or Here for High Tea, where she calls her Slarion.
Oh wow!
Yeah, okay. It's they add to it, but I was like, that is something else. I mean, I saw you when you said it, and I was like, that he's right. Now, have you ever spoken with her?
I've spoken to her several times.
What do you think? What do you think about her?
She's young.
Yeah.
I mean, that literally is the only way I can sum it up. If I was talking to a woman your age, you know, I'd have all types of assessments. But with her, I just have to write it off as just young. You ever seen a young girl play grown?
Yes.
And get in grown people mistake, end up getting in grown people trouble. She's a young girl playing grown. Thought she was growner than what she is, and is not equipped to play a grown woman's game.
I feel like she got really. I feel like she got duped. You know what I'm saying? I think she got cornered, and
her naivete was taken advantage of. I mean,
even absolutely.
I got friends in Atlanta calling me saying they saw her and Martell outside of Lenox Mall the other day. They're back together. And see, she's better than I'll ever be because you used me, got the whole world calling me names, made me out to be the villain because I was the side piece. You break up with your wife, you have a baby with me, but you still don't come to me. You go over to Sheree in Atlanta, and then that don't work out. So now you won't come back over to me. But you dumb enough to let her. You know what I'm saying? So you just
original Straight No Chaser, she put out the fourth part of that interview yesterday. I mean, the phone call, and it was like she had some moments in there. She was like, "Why would Martell do this to me and want me to look like the bad person?" And I'm like, if you can grasp that, then why you just can't lock the door and just be done? That's crazy.
Agreed.
That is so crazy to me. Like even though she got on there talking about, oh, I finessed a blogger, which we don't believe any of that. But it's just the fact that I was just glad to know that she understood that he just don't care about her. I was glad to hear that part. And that's all I'm gonna say about that because I already ate her up early today. So I'm gonna leave her alone. So last thing, Carlee Russell, what do you feel about that?
The truth?
Absolutely. I want the truth.
I feel what everybody else at home feels. You know? I hate that this has become we don't trust black women when they say stuff. Y'all so anti-black, so on and so forth. You are never going to be able to condition my instincts out of me, right? And when something doesn't feel right, it just doesn't feel right. Now, I will say, being in the media and with time, I have learned to speak and lead with love and compassion first before opinion and emotion, right?
Right.
So like I said on the show, whether she lied, is lying, is on drugs, or it happened for real, a young black woman is back home safe.
Yep.
Period. And there's been some headway made in the mainstream media paying attention to black girls. Period. Hard stop. Okay. Turn the page. Matter of fact, whole nother book. However, we are not wrong for having questions, right?
No, we're not.
You've been abducted. The abductor could possibly still be in the area. The police have not said what the truck looked like. I mean, and I understand you're in shock, so on and so forth. And I'm not asking you to speak to us, but it's, in my opinion, it's become obvious that you ain't said too much to the police either, because if you've been abducted, what the truck looked like, what the car looked like. Are we looking for one person or two people? Are we looking for an Indian person with a red dot on their nose or a blonde-haired, blue-eyed white man named Bob?
Right.
Like, those are the pertinent details that before you even do a rape kit, because I watched enough Law and Order SVU with Olivia Benson, the Stabler.
Yeah, I know that's right.
Some of them details we got to get ASAP. 911 is saying that nobody else has reported a toddler on the side of the road. Nobody else said they seen a toddler missing. So these are all things that make people say, go, But as a community, before we stone this girl, none of us have enough information to draw any type of conclusion. Right. It's all right for us to feel skeptical. It's all right for us to side-eye it, but I do think we need to keep our mouths closed when it comes to condemning this girl.
Right.
Until we get the details and the fact. Now, here is what I am worried about, Millichun. If it does come out that some of this stuff was fabricated or not the truth, it's going to destroy her and her family.
Yes.
Because the family made it to Good Morning America or Good Day America, whatever.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, it's going to completely undermine the missing black girl movement, because you've already got a group of people who don't see value in our lives.
Exactly.
They don't want to look for us anyway. And then the one time that the world pays attention to us, then it turns out to be a hoax.
Right. And I mean, we stood up for her too. Like, we stood up for her. Everybody on TikTok had something. Everybody on Instagram had something. It was in everybody's stories. Yeah. And I was like, this is amazing, you know. And then when she just came home, I don't know. I'm not being insensitive, but it was the Red Roof Inn for me. I'm like, who is at the Red Roof Inn?
Right. At least fuck me at the Four Seasons, honey. Or the Marriott Hilton. I mean,
give me a Motel 6. I'll take a Motel 6 before I to the Red Roof Inn. Lord have mercy. It's like, what part of the town is this?
Oh shit.
But like you said, yes, just the fact that she's home and she's good, that's the most important part.
Uh-huh.
But it'll come out in the wash.
It will. It will. We just gotta sit tight.
It will come out in the wash.
Uh-huh.
Well, I would like to say this has been just having tea with you, talking to you has been absolutely wonderful. And we all love you. Everybody in this chat loves you. Like, I mean, you know that you have great followers. You know the Funky Bunch is here. We're all in the Funky Bunch. You know that. But just to let you know that we love you.
I appreciate it.
You have been really a bright, just sunshine in our life. And I mean, you are hilarious. Like, I mean, a stand-up. You know what I'm saying? Just a stand-up.
Thank you.
So
I appreciate it.
Yes, I have so appreciate this. And if you just sit back, we're going to get ready to go. Ladies, tonight is ladies' night. I have a very special surprise on Instagram at 10:30. So if you're up, please join me, 10:30 Central. You will not be sorry, I promise. So we're going to get out of here. Everybody say goodbye to Q.
Bye, guys. I had fun talking to you. We're going to do this again.
And yes, we will. I love y'all. And thank y'all for being here. It's your girl, Millichun, and I'm out. Bye. This is amazing.